You're concerned I'm abusing my clout to feather a personal relationship.
I am concerned because Liza Colby, I know, would never jeopardize her professional reputation for a date.
So Liza, you know, doesn't care what people think as long as it produces must-see TV with buzz and ratings.
Oh, please. Kinder represents must-see TV. He's going to generate ratings.
If I have to sacrifice myself at the altar of the great advertising dollar, then it's my sacrifice, isn't it? I mean, you're spoken for. So, if I want to play doctor with Jonathan Kinder in the great videotape library of life, what's it to you? Correct?
You're too smart. Much too smart to be taken in by that loser. Why are you encouraging him?
Who should I be encouraging?
Knock, knock. Rudy's here and he's coming in.
Yes, Rudy. Nice suit.
Thanks. You wanted me to remind you when it was time to leave for the courthouse?
Oh, yeah, great. Anyone need a ride?
All rise.
Court is now in session. So Janet Green returned to Pine Valley to start a new life for herself. Well, maybe that was true in the beginning. But in the end, her obsession with a young girl caused her not to start a new life for herself, but to take the life of an innocent woman, Laurel Dillon. Now, Laurel Dillon, you see, was the mother that Janet Green could never, ever be. And Janet resented that, resented it horribly. Resented it so much that she ignored a court's restraining order, not once, but several times, and made personal contact with Amanda, a minor child. But even that wasn't the full blossom of her obsession. No, that happened on the set of The Cutting Edge at WRCW. Now, let me set the stage for you. The audience was particularly volatile that day. Homophobic rage filled the air. And when Janet saw Laurel pick up that microphone to defend her gay brother, that was it. She snapped. That red tide began to rise. And when she looked out into that sea of hate-filled faces, now where you or I would be repulsed, to Janet, that felt good. She liked that. From their rage, she took courage. From their hatred, she took strength. She found the strength to raise that gun, take aim, and put a bullet in Laurel Dillon. And the state will prove, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that Janet Green shot and killed Laurel Dillon in cold blood.
Mr. Montgomery has a way with words. He's right. WRCW was a white-hot crucible of hate. Cold-blooded murder? Not a chance. Laurel Dillon was killed in the heat of passion. And just for the record, I didn't do it. The truth is, I was at the station to see Liza Colby, the station manager. I stayed because someone who's very dear to me is a student of Michael Delaney's. If it was important for her to be there, it was important for me to be there. That's what you do when you love someone. You show up for them. But someone showed up to the studio that day who didn't have any love in their heart. Hate's insidious. I know. I used to live on it. But now I stay centered on the things that keep me sane. I don't wish for bad things to happen to people, and I don't make them happen. I have too much good in my life. But on the morning of February 8th, someone woke up with nothing left to lose. I know the difference between right and wrong. I didn't kill Laurel Dillon, and I can prove it. I'll prove it to all of you who would rather string me up than to go out there and find the real killer. Who is out there somewhere, maybe planning to kill again. How safe does that make you feel? Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Dixie Cooney Martin. I'm presently living at 140 Calvert Street.
Now, Ms. Martin, did you see Janet Green at WRCW on February 8th, 1996?
Yes. Actually, I heard her before I saw her.
Would you explain that to us, please?
She was in Tad Martin's office. She was fighting with Laurel Dillon. They were fighting over Amanda.
Now, what would you say was her state of mind when she left that office?
She was highly agitated.
I wasn't alone in Laurel's office, was I? Can you explain to the court how you jumped into the fray? Did you or did you not rip me up and down for showing a little basic maternal concern for my daughter? Did you? You were pretty agitated yourself, weren't you?
You have a way of bringing out the worst in people.
Did you hear me threaten Laurel Dillon?
No, but you...
Did Laurel Dillon threaten me?
She found you with Amanda.
Just answer the question. Laurel Dillon threatened me and not the other way around, right?
It sounded that way.
Were there other people present at that taping who were agitated, upset, worked into a lather over the homosexuality issue?
Yes.
I guess we better go in now, but we can't sit together. You know, Taylor.
She's not coming.
Yeah, but I still think there should be some distance between us, you know.
I don't like any distance between us. I like it just like this. And remember, I'm with you every step of the way. Okay? Come on.
I'd like to call Liza Colby to the stand. Miss Colby, did you invite Janet Green to WRCW on February 8th?
No, I did not.
Well, why was she there?
Janet was a guest on The Cutting Edge last year. She created quite a stir. She was there that day in response to her fan mail.
Her fan mail?
Charles Manson has his groupies. Janet Green has hers.
Objection. Unnecessary roughness.
Mr. Montgomery.
So you're telling us that Janet Green received fan mail?
Yes, she did.
Now, were you considering booking Janet Green for yet another appearance on The Cutting Edge?
Mr. Montgomery, I would book Jack the Ripper if he could pull down a 40 share.
Your Honor, please.
We can do without the inflammatory editorializing.
Ms. Colby, let me ask you this. Do you normally give your guests access to guns?
The gun was left over from a show that we had done where we took a very strong moral stance against the proliferation of illegal handguns.
And was it locked up?
Well, I delegated that task to a staffer. It was securely stored in a desk drawer in Tad Martin's office.
Was that drawer locked?
Apparently not. Janet Green did gain access to the weapon.
Objection. The witness is drawing her own conclusions.
Overruled.
What is it they say? Be nice to the people you meet on your way up. They're the same ones you'll meet on your way down. Going down, Miss Colby. Remember me. How you doing, girlfriend? Remember how you schmoozed me into coming onto your show? Telling me how I was going to help all those millions of desperate people out there in TV land. And the cards and letters, they came pouring in. All for me.
That was before Laurel Dillon was shot. Now your mail is mostly prison postmarks wanting a lock of your hair or a fingernail clipping.
The atmosphere on the set of The Cutting Edge was very calm the day I appeared. That was not the same story on the day Laurel Dillon was there, was it? In fact, you even sent one of your lackeys, Jason Sheffield, in to mingle with the mob to get them worked up into a frenzy. Bigots, hate mongers, gay bashers, skinheads. There was more than one person with murder on his mind.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to show the jury portions of the Cutting Edge videotape that are pertinent to the inquiry before the court. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the tape you are about to see is unedited, and it is extremely graphic in what it depicts. So, if at any time during the showing of this tape you become uncomfortable and want me to stop this tape, please just raise your hand, okay? Thank you. Mr. Martin, will you please tell us what's happening here?
Some of the parents had accused Michael Delaney of trying to convert their kids to homosexuality. At this point, one of the students stood up in the audience and admitted on air that he is gay. And that's when things started to get crazy. Some members of the anti-gay contingent in the studio audience started shouting, screaming things like, I don't know, go home, faggot, and other similar brilliant repartee. And then, I don't know, it just seemed to me like the studio just sort of filled up. Where I was standing next to the stage, it looked to me like, I don't know, all I could see was this wall of people. There was a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting. And at this point, Laurel reached up and grabbed her brother's hand. I remember thinking that something had gone wrong, that we had lost control. I had started to be concerned that somebody was going to get hurt. That's when we heard the shot.
Pierce?
Then, as quickly as it started, it was over.
Would you say that Janet Green resented Laurel for taking her place as Amanda's mother?
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that she hated her?
Safe bet? Yeah.
Would you say that she hated her enough to kill her?
I would say that any one of us could kill someone at one time or another.
We know each other pretty well, don't we, Trevor? We go way back. We even conceived a child together.
That was under false pretenses.
There was a time when you thought you were in love with me. You asked me to marry you.
I thought you were somebody else.
Well, I'm just Janet Green now. Not a perfect person, but not as black as they paint me. Do you think people can change?
It can happen, yeah.
Your wife Laurel certainly changed. And she went from being an embezzler to an upstanding member of this community in one fell swoop. Well, I've changed too. Or I met two people who changed me. Laura Kirk. And your old army buddy, Pierce Riley. Pierce took me in and nursed me back to health. He showed me the stars. He believed in me. He made love to me. Do you think your buddy Pierce is a good judge of character? Do you think a man like Pierce could love a woman like me?
I think Pierce Riley's a pretty good judge of character, and you're also damn good at pulling the wool over people's eyes, mine included.
You came to visit me in jail.
Yeah, many times. Which time are you talking about?
After I was arrested for Laurel's murder. Do you remember what I said in my defense?
You said that the crowd at the studio was out of control, that anybody could have shot Laurel, that the bullet that took her down could have been meant for her brother Mike.
Objection, Your Honor. There's no evidence to support this conclusion.
There's no evidence to refute it.
I'll allow it. But stay on track, Miss Green, and be brief.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will. Do you believe that's possible, Trevor? That someone aimed the gun at Laurel's brother and hit Laurel instead?
Yeah, it's possible.
After my sister Natalie, Laurel was the love of your life. It must have taken a big chunk out of your heart when she died. If you thought for 1 minute that I was the one who killed her, I wouldn't be standing here. Because you would have come after me and you would have strangled me with your own bare hands. And there isn't a jury in this country that would have convicted you if you thought I was guilty. Do you, Trevor? Do you really believe it? Can you look at me and be 100% positive that I killed your wife?
Your Honor, I object most strenuously to Miss Green's line of questioning. I mean, the idea of her projecting her motives onto
This is my life we're talking about here. I have the right to ask whatever questions might help my case.
Approach the bench, both of you.
Look, I have to go.
You're chasing after Pierce.
Something is obviously wrong.
The man is touched in the head. If his relationship with Janet doesn't prove it, you saw him come unglued just
Adam,
now.
he may be sick.
That's putting it charitably.
I don't know exactly what happened in there, but he is obviously in trouble, and I have to find him.
Miss Green, I'll allow the question, if you refrain from the histrionics and rephrase.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trevor, we spent a lot of time gauging the mood inside the studio the day Laura was shot. You've been in combat situations, seen the enemy. Don't you think it's possible that someone else took aim and fired the shot that killed Laurel?
Yeah, sure, it's possible.
No further questions.
The witness may step down. Mr. Montgomery, call your next witness.
I call Jason Sheffield to the stand. I'd like to call Jason Sheffield to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name and address.
Jason Sheffield, 168 Oak Street, Pine Valley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheffield.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir? Mr. Sheffield, have you ever been asked to testify before a court before? Could you please answer verbally, yes or no?
No.
You seem a little bit nervous, are you?
No, no, not too much. I kind of have that under control.
Good, because all we're trying to do here is get to the bottom of what happened on the set of The Cutting Edge on February 8th, 1996. The day Laurel Dillon was shot and killed. Sheffield, what was your job title at WRCW on February 8, 1996?
Intern. I was hired through Pine Valley University's work-study program.
And the station manager, Liza Colby, she was your supervisor.
Yeah.
Mr. Sheffield, I hate to bring this up again, but you do seem a little nervous.
Well, it's like I told you, I've never testified in court before.
Well, there's nothing to it. You just tell us the facts as you know them. Tell us the truth. Now, what kind of duties does an intern at WRCW perform exactly?
Everything. Run errands, collate reports, host tours, fetch coffee.
Handle props? Namely, the .38 special revolver that was used in an interview with John Doe, the illegal street dealer of guns. The same gun that shot Laurel Dillon 8 days later?
Yes. You see, after that show, Miss Colby ordered me to put that gun and all the others in Mr. Martin's desk drawer, and that's what I did.
Now, did anybody see you do that?
Yes. Janet Green.
She was in the studio that day picking up her fan mail from her appearance on The Cutting Edge, and she saw me put the stuff in the drawer.
Now, by stuff, you mean firearms.
Yes.
And that's where those firearms stayed until the day of the shooting, February 8th.
I guess. I didn't keep checking on them or anything.
Tell the court, did you see Janet Green at WRCW on February 8th, the day of the shooting?
Yes.
And where did you see her?
At WRCW in Mr. Martin's office right before the show started.
Was she alone?
No. So Miss Colby ordered me to watch Mrs. Dillon's little kid, Amanda, and then Rudy, the stage manager, poked his head in and said that he needed me on the floor immediately, and that's when Miss Green came in. So, I mean, I swear I forgot about her being dangerous and everything, so I left her alone with the kid.
So knowing everything that you knew about Janet Green, you left her alone with this minor child and those guns?
Yes, I'm sorry. Look, but she is guilty, okay? She pulled the trigger. She's the one that's psycho.
Objection, Your Honor.
She killed that kid's mom, so lock her up.
Order. Mr. Sheffield, I'm completely out of order.
She killed Laurel Dillon, and everyone knows it.
Now get control of yourself.
The state apologizes, Your Honor.
It's up to the jury to determine guilt or innocence. Continue.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Let me at him.
Be seated, Miss Green.
It's my turn to cross-examine.
I said sit.
The court will take a brief recess. Remember my admonition, do not discuss the case among yourselves. You may step down. All rise.
What have you got against me?
You're a killer. Shouldn't that be enough?
Jason!
Jason's been drinking and acting weird, so, well, Mr. D thinks I should spend a few days at someone else's house, you know, till my parents come back. And I was wondering if maybe I could just come... You want to stay with me? If it's okay with your dad. Scott, I'm not going to cause any trouble. I promise. And my parents are coming back from London any day.
Kevin, our house is so small. Plus, the only extra room we have is so full of my dad's, like, art junk.
That's true.
Dad.
I have stacks of paintings clipped to the ceiling.
Right, so it'd probably be better if you asked somebody else.
Ask somebody else why. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Mr. Chandler. Scott, if you don't want me to stay at your house, just say so.
Kevin, come on.
Forget it.
Kevin wanted to stay at our house?
Yeah, I guess his brother's freaking out and his parents are in London. But there are plenty of other people he can ask. I mean, our house is so small.
It's so small, or you just don't want him sleeping over because he's gay?
Just don't get it.
Kevin, I heard you're looking for a place to stay.
Oh, good news travels fast around here.
I'd offer a guest room, but my parents would just kill me.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Jason's going over the deep end, huh, Kev?
Yep.
Bath? Yeah. You know what? No problem. You got yourself a home at Cortland Manor.
With you?
Hey, why not? We got 6 empty bedrooms, and you can have yourself any one of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, he's my friend, right?
We were.
No, we still are, man. Now, I admit I was a little shocked when you first came out, and it took me a while to get used to the idea, which is why I understand why you didn't just spill your guts about the whole thing. But why?
Why did I pretend?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I never said anything.
Kevin, we're all behind you.
Sure.
We are.
Yeah. You're still the same guy who helps me figure out ways to cut free cock on Fridays, right?
Right.
Right. Well, then, no sweat. As long as you got problems at home, mi casa, su casa. Especially since now I know you're not going to be trying to steal any babes from me. That's a joke.
Trevor?
Listen, I just wanted to say I know how hard this is for you. And I admire your strength.
I need to get some fresh air. Come on, Tim.
Sorry about that. You heard?
Yeah.
We are two of Pine Valley's twin pariahs. Two people whose jobs deal with very controversial issues.
Well, there was a time when Trevor and I were like brothers.
Yeah, but he's grieving right now. He lost somebody that he loves. You have to give him time. He'll forgive you. No, really, trust me. You're a very easy person to forgive.
I've got an idea. Why don't we go for a drive for a little while? Huh?
I can't.
Come on, I might clear out some of the cobwebs.
No, not until this whole thing is resolved.
I make you feel better.
Dixie, the only thing that's going to make me feel better is justice.
Oh, no, you can't ditch me that easily.
Get out of my face.
You had every opportunity to come clean up there, and you blew it. You lied under oath.
Haley, leave me alone.
You sat up there and said Janet's guilty.
She is guilty. She murdered Will Cortland. She tried to murder Laurel Dillon. She's guilty.
You had 24 hours to come clean, Jason.
They should have never let her out of jail.
Time is running out for you.
All they have to do is put her back in prison, and nobody's the worse off.
And what if the judge decides to give her the death penalty? Did you ever stop to think about that? This is not a game. Now, either you tell the truth, or I will.
No, you won't, Haley. You won't say a word.